Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're basically taking a giant magnifying glass to one of the absolute coolest pieces of digital art in modern animation. Take a good look at Ava Thompson here. Now, immediately, your brain tells you that you're looking at a perfectly simple, super clean, kind of Pixar-style cartoon character, right? You know, you see those really smooth facial features, that insanely vibrant neon pink hoodie, and of course, those massive, iconic tech goggles. The whole shebang just looks so friendly, so approachable, and above all else, simple. But what if I told you that you are being completely 100% tricked?
Seriously, prepare to have the illusion totally shattered, because your brain is actively lying to you. On the left is what your brain thinks it sees, this super clean, stylized aesthetic, but on the right, that's what the model actually is. If we pull back the curtain just a little bit, that smooth exterior completely snaps away, and it reveals this incredibly dense, massive technical illusion. I mean, we're talking literally millions of glowing wireframe polygons, wildly complex technical deformers, and all these hidden vector arrows pointing in just about every conceivable direction. Every single second Ava is on screen, her 3D model is actively breaking the laws of physics and distorting geometry right in plain sight. It's a literal masterclass in visual deception, using tricks that you look at constantly, but never actually notice. So, how on earth are they pulling this off?
Well, that brings us right to Act 1, the perfect silhouette fraud.
Let's explore this first trick. We're going to look at how 3D models are supposed to behave, and how Ava's model completely rewrites the rulebook just to stay perfectly framed. The real game changer here is something called a vector tracking script. And to understand why this is so brilliant, you kind of have to understand the core difference between 2D and 3D animation. In traditional 2D hand-drawn animation, an artist can just, cheat the drawing from shot to shot. They just draw it slightly differently to make sure a character's silhouette always looks cool and sharp. But in 3D animation, you're dealing with a solid, rigid mesh. If a character turns their head, the 3D model stays exactly the same. It's totally bound by physical space. But here's the thing. The studio didn't want Ava bound by physics. They wanted that neon pink hood of hers to never ever lose its sharp dynamic point, no matter where she was looking. So, they engineered an absolutely ingenious solution. They built a hidden vector tracking script directly into her mesh.
Let's actually walk through how this works in real time, because it's fascinating. Step 1, the camera rotates around Ava. Step 2, boom, that hidden tracking script instantly triggers. Step 3, the vertices, which are the actual structural points at the peak of her hood, literally detach from normal physics. They physically shift and slide in the exact opposite direction of the camera. Which leads us to Step 4. A flawless 2D-style silhouette is perfectly maintained. While you think you're just looking at a rotating object, her model is actually autonomously reshaping itself in real time just to please your eye. I mean, it is an absolute fraud, but it works flawlessly.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. Act 2, the micro-texture paradox.
For this one, we're going to zoom in incredibly close and get a bit more scientific about the actual materials making up Ava's world. Now, if you zoom into most highly stylized 3D cartoon models, they usually look like, well, smooth, injection-molded plastic. It's clean, it's very flat. But look at the microscopic details hidden on Ava's model. The creators did something completely counterintuitive here. They actually anchored her wild, cartoonish proportions with incredibly gritty, realistic physical imperfections. Look really closely at the rim of her tech goggles. There's a layer of micro-abrasions, tiny little scuffs on the plastic, and get this, even faint fingerprint grease right exactly where her thumbs would naturally rest. And her hoodie? It's not just a flat pink color. It actually uses a complex displacement map that simulates tiny fabric pills, loose threads, and even microscopic lint. It's just an absolutely obsessive level of hidden detail.
So, what does this all mean? Well, to put it simply, by injecting these hyper-realistic, flawed, real-world textures onto a highly exaggerated character design, the creators bypass the brain's skepticism. Think about why that's so crucial. Ava has massive, anatomically impossible eyes and this crazy stylized hair. Your brain should naturally reject her as fake. But because the creators fed your brain real-world grit, like that thumbprint grease and the little bits of fabric lint, your brain processes this physical truths and instantly decides, okay, the lighting on that grease is physically accurate, therefore this whole object must be real. You accept the impossible simply because it's wrapped up in this incredibly grounded, mundane reality. It's brilliant.
Which leads us to Act 3, the hypnotic eye trick.
Let's slow things down for a second, because we're about to uncover what is arguably the most mysterious secret hidden directly inside Ava's eyes. And this really shows exactly how far the creators were willing to go. On the left, we've got your standard 3D lighting. In a normal 3D environment, the white reflection in a character's eyes is totally dictated by where the lights are placed in the digital room. If the character turns away from the light, their eyes go dark. Simple physics, right? But look at the right side, Ava's custom system. The artists actually went in and completely unlinked her eye reflections from the world's actual physics. They built this custom independent texture overlay. So whether Ava is standing out in a brightly lit neon street or hiding in a dim, shadowy basement, that little white specular highlight never ever disappears. And even wilder, the animators manually lock it so it almost never moves from the upper right quadrant of her pupil.
Now you might be wondering, why on earth would animators go through all this painstaking extra manual work? Well, the answer is purely psychological. They are subconsciously forcing eye contact to create a spark of life. See, human beings are hardwired to look for the light in someone's eyes. When eyes go flat and dark, a character suddenly feels dead and robotic. By ensuring her pupils always have this clean, perfectly placed reflection, her 3D model is literally forcing us, the viewers, to maintain eye contact. It subconsciously makes her feel deeply empathetic, engaging, and remarkably alive. It just pulls you right into her performance without you ever even realizing you're being manipulated.
And that brings us to our final section, the beautiful digital lie.
Let's pull back for a minute and look at the big picture of what this actually means for the entire medium of 3D animation. This quote here, it is the absolute mic drop realization of this entire explainer. Great 3D character design isn't just about pushing a button and letting some software engine simulate reality. Not at all. It is a highly deliberate art form of deception. The real secret of Ava Thompson's model is that she is a beautiful, highly calculated lie. She has this intricate collection of custom scripts, shifting her geometry, rule-breaking shaders, totally defying lighting physics, and microscopic imperfections tricking your brain. And it is all working together in absolute harmony to make you truly believe in something impossible.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. If a quote-unquote simple cartoon character like Ava Thompson is this wildly complex beneath the surface, what else is hiding in plain sight in your favorite animations? Seriously, the next time you watch an animated show or movie, I challenge you to look past the simple surface, watch the reflections, pay attention to the silhouettes, and really look for that grit. Because as we've definitely learned today, the absolute coolest things in digital art are almost always the things hiding right in front of your face. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.